Hello, mic test. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today, we are focusing on a subject that will shape the future of our community, our region, and perhaps even our nation. We are gathered here today to discuss the critical issues facing Taliban in the upcoming 2025 elections. Our goal is to provide you, the voters, with the information you need to make informed decisions. We want to facilitate a productive and respectful dialogue between our candidates and the community. This panel brings together a diverse group of experts, each with unique perspective on the electoral process. We have here our first panelist. Please help me welcome Ms. Clyde Corbita, a news reporter with extensive experience covering current events. And now, our second panelist is Ms. Jahame Ramos, a representative from Comelec, who will provide us with crucial insights into the electoral process. We are also pleased to welcome Ms. Lorraine Kingston, a representative from PDP Laban Party List. She'll be sharing the party's views on the key issues in the 2025 elections. And finally, we welcome our last but not the least panelist, Ms. Princess Ivardo, a professor of political science and a respected political analyst. And let's welcome our audience who will witness and provide her opinions with our panel discussion for today. Ms. Ida Cabanas. Welcome, madam. We're pleased to meet you. And yeah. Please take your seats and suit yourself.
Thank you.
So, welcome to our panel discussion. Is it your first panel discussion?
Yes.
Oh, we're very pleased. In the absence of information, we tend to leap to the worst scenario. So we thought this session would help us all achieve clarity on what is known versus what is speculation or even exaggeration. As your moderator, I'll be guiding us through this process. We have a limited time, only an hour, I guess. So, we'll be breaking the session into distinct segments. We want to know your overall opinions on the issues. So, we'll start there. Alright, everyone, let's kick things off with a fun little game to get to know our candidates a bit better. An icebreaker? Would you like that?
Yes.
We're going to play a version of the newlywed game, Taliban style. Do you know that game?
No.
So, let me explain the rules of the game. Shall I?
Yes.
First, please turn to your neighbor and share the first word that comes to mind when you think about the future of Taliban. So, Miss Ida, what do you think? That's such a nice response, isn't it? But now, panelists, you're going to write down one word that best represents your vision for the future of Taliban. Please write that word on your foam board and please don't show anyone your word yet. Now, before we reveal your words, I'd like each of you to briefly describe something you've learned in your research or in the campaign trail that you think the audience would find particularly interesting. This is a chance to give us a little insight into your perspective. Before we will show your words that you're written on the foam board, may I request panelist C to provide a little insight on your perspective.
Okay. I would like to remind you all that vote wisely and vote for the deserving one.
Such a nice advice for the, especially for the young voters there. Okay, now for the big reveal on the count of three. Let's see what words you've chosen. So, are you ready, guys?
Yes.
Miss Ida?
Yes.
Okay, please help me count and let's witness what does our panelist wrote on the foam board. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh. Let's start with panelist A, shall we?
Yes.
So, panelist A, what word you've written on the foam board?
Progress.
Oh, I think it's from the deep of the heart, you know?
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind telling us in 1 minute why you chose that word and a two-sentence bio?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
I choose progress because I believe that Talibun has immense potential. We need to move forward with sustainable development, improve our infrastructure, and create our opportunities for our youth.
That's so very accurate and impressive.
Thank
Panelist
you.
A. Your insights were thought-provoking and added great depth to the discussion. And now let's proceed to panelist B. Do you mind telling us why you chose that word? What was the word you have written again?
Unity.
Oh, okay. The stage is yours, panelist B.
I choose unity because I believe that Taliban's strength lies in its community. We need to work together, regardless of our background, to build a better future for everyone.
Oh,
So
You're not-
nice.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Your knowledge and experience truly shone through today.
Yes.
We learned so much from your valuable input. And let's proceed to panelist C. Ma'am, what was the word you have written in the foam board?
I choose opportunity because I want to ensure that every resident of Taliban has the chance to succeed. We need to create jobs, support small businesses, and invest in education. Wow!
Very well said, panelist C. Wow, you presented your ideas with such clarity and confidence. I'm so proud of you guys. And okay, let's welcome panelist D. Ma'am, what was the word you've written?
I choose advocate because it is getting support from another person to help you express your views and wishes and to help you stand up for your rights. Someone who helps you in this way called your advocate.
Yeah, so very nice.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear panelists. Those are some very insightful words. Now, let's move on to the moderator curated questions. Are you all ready? Are you all
Yes.
are you all
Yes.
ready?
Why not?
So, the moderator curated questions. We have compiled questions from your registration, Miss Ida,
Yes.
and we will address as many questions as possible. The rest will come from you, the audience, in your Q&A session, later part. We'll wrap up with the key takeaways for you to use also. Okay, so our first question is for the COMELEC. So the question is, given the importance of voter trust in ensuring a fair election, what specific measures is COMELEC implementing to address potential concerns about voter fraud and to guarantee the transparency and integrity of the electoral process in Taliban?
Thank you for a wonderful question.
It's my
Comelec
privilege.
Comelec ensures fair elections in Taliban through biometric voter verification, secure ballot handling, and transparent counting with vote counting machines. A task force combats misinformation, well-trained polls watchers and law enforcement safeguard the process. These measures uphold electoral integrity and public trust in the 2025 elections.
Alright, your perspective was refreshing and eye-opening. We appreciate the wisdom you brought to the discussion, ma'am. Thank you for that. And our second question is for the news reporter, panelist B, Miss Clyde Corbita. So your question is, in an era of increasing misinformation, especially on social media, what role do you believe local news outlets play in providing accurate and unbiased information to Taliban voters? And what ethical guidelines are you following to ensure responsible reporting during this election, ma'am?
Thank you for that wonderful question.
Yes.
Okay, are you gonna start?
Sure.
Local news outlets in Taliban play a crucial role in combating misinformation and ensuring voters have access to accurate and biased information. They adhere to strict ethical guidelines prioritizing accuracy, balance, and transparency. All reports are verified through credible sources, with clear distinctions between news and opinions. Errors and promptly corrected, and local sensitives are considered. To fight misinformation, they fact-check candidate claims, provide media literacy tools, and collaborate with Comelec local organizations. Their ultimate goal is to empower voters with reliable information for informed decision making in the democratic process.
What a powerful answer, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your expertise rather, in this field is truly commendable. Wow. Thank you for taking the time to enlighten us.
You're
And
welcome.
for the third question, may I request Honey C, the political party representative, Miss Lorraine Kingston, to answer this. This is for you, ma'am. The question states that Taliban faces numerous pressing issues, from economic development to environmental concerns. Beyond campaign promises, what concrete, measurable actions will your party take to address these challenges, and how will you ensure accountability to the residents of Taliban if elected?
Thank you for that wonderful question, ma'am.
My pleasure.
Our party is committed to real, measurable action to address Taliban's challenges. To boost economic development, we will provide how-interest microloans to support small businesses, creating 500 jobs within 2 years, and offer skills training for 200 workers annually in tourism and agriculture. For environmental sustainability, we will implement a waste management program to reduce landfill waste by 30% in 3 years and partner with local groups for coastal cleanups and reforestation. To ensure accountability, we will hold quarterly town hall meetings, publish transparent budget reports, establish a citizen oversight committees, and use local media to keep residents informed. Through these concrete steps, we aim to build a stronger, more sustainable Taliban.
Wow.
You have a nice platform, or should I say your party list have a nice platform. And your ability to break down complex topics into understandable insights was remarkable, ma'am. We truly appreciate your presence in the panel. And let's proceed to our very beautiful panelist, D. She is no other than Miss Frances Ibardo. So, here's your question, ma'am. Considering the historical and current political dynamics of Taliban, what are the most significant systemic challenges that could impede the development of a healthy and robust democratic process in our community? And what reforms do you believe are necessary to strengthen our local governance?
Thank you for that wonderful question, ma'am. Taliban's democratic process faces challenges like political dynasties, voter misinformation, patronage politics, and weak transparency. These issues hinder competition, informed voting, and accountability to strengthen local governance. Reform should include stricter Reform should include stricter and dynasty policies, expanded voter education, transparent budget reporting, independent audience, and digital governance, encouraging civic engagement through community consultations and grassroots participation will also ensure a more accountable and inclusive government. Thank you.
Oh, your intentions are clear, ma'am, and very precise yet very accurate. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us.
You're welcome.
Dear panelists, thank you. Thank you for sharing those insights. Now, let's play a game of agree or disagree. Each of our panelists has an agree or disagree paddle. And do you have?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I'll make a statement and our panelists will indicate their stance. So, the rule is you will raise or show to the audience, dear audience or viewers, the paddle that has agree or disagree on it. If you agree or disagree.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
We're very excited and ready.
Dear panelists, may I request to raise the papers that has agree or disagree written on it to show to our audience and viewers. Okay, please show. Okay, now let us start the disagree and agree portion. So, let's proceed to our controversial questions. We have here 3 controversial questions. The first controversial question is, social media is a reliable source of information for voters in Taliban. So, dear panelists, may I request you all to raise the paper in the count of 3? Okay, so, dear audience, please help me count. In 3, 2, 1. Okay. You can yeah. So let's start with panelist A. Why did you choose disagree?
Because social media is a mix of good and bad information. Local news outlets are responsible for fact-checking and providing context. We urge viewers to prioritize trusted news sources.
Very well said, panelist A. Yes. And let's proceed to panelist B. Why did you choose disagree, ma'am?
I disagree because social media has its uses. Relying on it solely is risky. Comelec provides verified information through official channels. We're also actively working to counter misinformation spread on these platforms.
Wow.
Very informative. Thank you, panelist B. let's proceed to our panelist C. So, ma'am, why did you choose to agree about that controversial issue?
I agree because social media is a key tool for our campaign. But we stress critical thinking voters should seek information from diverse to form their own opinions.
Beautifully articulated, ma'am. And let's go to our panelist D. So, ma'am, may we ask why did you choose to disagree with that controversial issue?
I choose disagree because social media rapid spread of information often lacks of depth of traditional voter. Education on media literacy is crucial for navigating this landscape. Thank you.
Wonderfully stated, panelist D. And let's proceed to controversial question 2, shall we?
Yes.
Sorry for that noise.
It's
So, the controversial question number 2 states that the local government should prioritize the development of large-scale tourism over the preservation of our traditional fishing industry. So, dear panelists, may I request to raise the paper in the count of 3? 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay, down. You may down. Let's start with the Comelec again, our panelist B. Why did you choose to agree with that statement or question, I say?
I agree because Comelec focuses on fair elections. Voters need balanced information on both tourism and fishing to make informed choices. Candidates should clearly state their platforms.
You put that perfectly, panelist B.
so proud.
Yes, you should be.
Yeah.
And now, let's proceed to our panelist A, a news reporter. So, ma'am, may I ask, why did you choose agree with that statement?
I choose agree because we report on both tourism's economic impact on fishing's cultural value. We prioritize balanced coverage, fact-checking, and transparency to inform voters.
You captured the idea perfectly, ma'am.
Thank you.
And now, let's proceed to our panelist C from PDP Party List. And may I ask, ma'am, why did you choose to disagree with that question?
I choose disagree because we advocate for sustainable tourism that supports, not replaces, our fishing industry. Well, balance economic growth with culture and environmental preservation.
Wow.
Excuses. Well expressed, panelist C. Now, let's proceed to our panelist D. Ma'am, would you mind to tell us why you chose to disagree?
I choose disagree because prioritizing tourism over fishing risk, cultural loss, and marginalization. A balanced approach is needed for long-term community well-being and social cohesion. We also need to look at who is benefiting with both industries.
Wow, you put that perfectly, ma'am. And now, for the last controversial questions. Panelists, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the question. The local government should prioritize the construction of a large, modern mall to boost the economy, even if it displaces some existing small local businesses. So, may I request again, dear panelists, to raise the paper for your answer
Yeah.
on the count of 3. Okay, Here you go, here it goes. One, two, three. Okay, you may down the paper. Again,
Excuse me.
let's start with panelist B, or should I say, our representative from the COMELEC. So, ma'am, why did you choose to agree with that statement or question?
I agree because what I say, Comelec focus is on fair elections. Voters should be fully informed about the economic impacts of such projects. Candidates' platforms on this issue are crucial for informed voting.
Okay, you have a point. And now, let's proceed to our panelist A, the news reporter. So, ma'am, why did you choose to agree with the question?
I agree because we will report on both the economic benefits and potential negative impacts on local businesses. We prioritize balanced reporting and investigating any potential conflicts of interest.
Well articulated, panelist B. And again, let's go to our panelist C, our representative from PDP Laban Party List. So, ma'am, we are again curious about why did you choose to disagree with the question?
I disagree because our party prioritizes sustainable economic growth that supports local businesses. We will look into the long-term effects before making any decisions. And we will make sure that the local businesses are supported.
Yes, that's actually right. And panelist B, do you mind sharing why did you choose to disagree with the question again?
Okay, thank you. I disagree because this highlights the intention between economic moderation and local economic stability. We must consider the long-term impact on small businesses. What is that? We must consider the long-term impact on small business and the overall community. We must also consider the effect of large corporation on the local economy.
Thank you for that answer, panelist D. And again, dear panelists, thank you for your insights and opinions about the controversial questions.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your honest answers, and I hope the audience will get a lesson from you. And now, for our dear audience, Miss Ida, it's your turn. We'll also take questions from you. Please state your question, provide context, and name the panelist you would like to answer. Um, Please keep your answers concise and related to the topic, alright?
Yes.
You may have the microphone.
Ms. Clyde, how do we combat election misinformation in 2025?
Fact check rigorously, promote media literacy, and hold social media accountable.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Jihami, how is Comelec ensuring elections transparency?
Comelec ensures election transparency through public data access, observer presence, rigorous audits, real-time technology, and strict adherence to legal mandates.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, may I have the mic? Thank you, our dear panelists, and also thank you for your questions, Miss Ida. Okay, as we near the end, what is one key takeaway you would like the audience to remember? Let's start with our panelist, Miss Lorraine Kingston. Ma'am, please, 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 please say what is your takeaway message?
Political party representative. A strong democracy requires accountability, transparency, and active public engagement. Our party is committed to open governance, ethical leadership, and policies that genuinely serve the people of Taliban.
Thank you, panelist C. And now, let's proceed to the last but not the least panelist. Panelist D, Miss Princess Ivardo. Okay, ma'am?
Strengthening local democracy depends on a fair competition, informed votes, and transparent governance. Reform of political inclusivity, accountability, and civic participation are key to building a more responsive to democratic community.
Great. So, did you all get some great ideas? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thank you for your participation, dear panelists.
You're welcome.
Yes. You can ask further questions after the panel at our website. So, please remember to register to vote. Thank you again for coming, dear panelists.
No problem.
Your engagement is vital to the future of Taliban. Thank you for your time and your insights. We are really sure that our viewers must have learned anything, and we are sure that our viewers and audience are very happy that they learned a lot from you all. Thank you again for coming, dear panelists.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's my privilege to invite you all. Okay. See you next time. As we approach the 2025 elections, let us remember that this is not just a political event. It is a defining moment for our future. Every vote carries the power to shape the direction of our communities and our nation. As citizens, it is our responsibility to stay informed, to engage in meaningful discussions, and most importantly, to participate in the democratic process. So again, this is me, your moderator, Rio May C. Kalinawan. Thank you for watching our panel discussion. And that's all.
Proceed to your
Agmandam na mo!